Sure, they've earned a ton of praise and landed arguably the most prestigious award in the filmmaking industry already, but it's worth celebrating these Oscar-winning flicks one more time for containing some jaw-dropping details we completely missed first time around. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 brilliant hidden details in Oscar-winning films. Number 10. Jojo Rabbit. Roman Griffin Davis's twin brothers play Hitler Youth clones. Throughout the Best Adapted Screenplay winning feature known as Jojo Rabbit, Roman Griffin Davis's Jojo Betzler is seen trying his best to figure out what to do with the Jewish girl living in his house, all while squabbling with his imaginary pal Hitler about his patriotism. However, most people aren't aware that the actor wasn't the only Davis boy used in the feature. During the scene where Jojo is left with Captain Klenzendorf, after Jojo's mother demands he's included and given a job, Fraulein Rahm points out that they need someone to walk the Hitler Youth clones. What went completely under the radar was that these clones were in fact played by Davis's twin brothers, with some computer-animated duplicates thrown in for good measure. Not everyone can say their brother got them a job in an Oscar-winning flick, can they? I surely can't. Number 9. The Big Short. Will the real Michael Burry please stand up? Though it may not rank as one of his most high-profile roles to date, Christian Bale's portrayal of Michael Burry, one of the first individuals to spot the American housing market bubble in The Big Short, still managed to land him a Best Supporting Actor nomination. Bale isn't the only Michael Burry on show in the Best Adapted Screenplay winning biographical comedy drama though. Just before a particular confrontation goes down in Burry's office, an individual can be seen making a phone call as Lawrence Fields enters the room. If you pause the frame, you'll spot none other than the actual Michael Burry himself making a brief cameo appearance in this big screen adaptation of events he was actually a part of in real life. Now that's some trippy stuff right there. Now what is your favourite Christian Bale performance, eh? Is it this Burry turn or something else? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. Number 8. Birdman. Those are not extras in Times Square. Trying to organise a scene with a ton of extras can be a right old pain in the ass. However, Birdman director Alejandro Gianarritu's life was made easier/harder due to the Best Picture winning production not being able to afford paid extras. So instead he just used the actual crowds taking up space in New York's Times Square for Reagan's now infamous underwear strut outdoors in the multi-Academy Award winner. Inarritu did 4 takes of the long sequence, despite fearing that fans or unaware pedestrians may sabotage the shot by looking into the camera. The director did have a genius way of trying to distract the herd of people though. He hired a group of street drummers to play nearby. Crew members were also thrown into the crowd to try and control things slightly, but once you realise the vast majority of people Keaton passes in the scene are average Joes wandering through New York, it makes the whole experience that little bit more insane to behold. Number 7. Black Hawk Down. A real-life war hero plays himself. Ridley Scott managed to bring together arguably the most star-studded cast in war movie history for Black Hawk Down. However, in the middle of all that future and current star power, there was another performance which didn't really get the attention it deserved. During the scene showing Daniel Bush being rescued in the heat of battle, one particular performer provides an update for Staff Sergeant Matt Eversman as he's carrying Bush to safety. This may seem like an unknown actor simply getting their moment in the sun at first glance, but CW4 Keith Jones was genuinely involved in the real-life rescue of Bush. And here he was reenacting the heroic moment on the big screen in an Academy Award-winning movie based on the events featuring some of the most talented actors of their generation. Jones, playing himself in this moment, was awarded a Silver Star for his valiant real-life efforts, which is probably a little more prestigious than an Oscar. Number 6. Independence Day. The President's speech was actually a placeholder. One of the standout moments in the Best Visual Effects winning alien invasion flick Independence Day came in the form of the President of the United States delivering one of the greatest speeches in cinematic history. Delivered with true passion and conviction, Bill Pullman's iconic words felt like the sort of moment a director would have spent months working on in order to get it just right. However, it may come as a bit of a surprise to find out that this speech wasn't actually considered a priority for director Roland Emmerich and writer Dean Devlin. The latter simply walked into a room, wrote it down in 5 minutes, and said he'd touch it up a bit later down the road. Only they completely forgot about it, and when it came time to shoot the speech, Dean realised he hadn't had a chance to rewrite the text. Meaning that Pullman was effectively told to perform dialogue which was only supposed to act as a placeholder for the real thing. Pullman, of course, knocked it out of the park, and this potential disaster turned into one of the most compelling monologues you'll ever see on screen. Number 5. Inception alternate state license plates. Christopher Nolan isn't a director known for doing things by halves. His films are often stuffed full of tiny little details which are easily missed, even on multiple watches. The multiple Academy Award winning Inception is no exception, as an item which clarifies that the team are in a dream and not reality is visual during the first level's high-octane car chase/shootout. If you look closely at any of the vehicle's license plates in the scene, you'll spot that the license plates have been given a bit of a twist in Yusef's rainy dream city. Instead of the typical state slogans or nicknames you tend to see on American license plates, we see the alternate state. This is quite clearly a link to the fact that dreaming is considered an alternate state of consciousness. How clever. Number 4, Joker Joaquin Phoenix's refrigerator moment was completely improvised. Joaquin Phoenix isn't the sort of actor who likes to be told exactly where to stand and what to do during a scene. He often enjoys improvising and finding new details in his character through exploration. At one point in the flick known as Joker, Arthur decides to empty his fridge and climb inside before shutting the door behind him. However, the cinematographer for the film, Lawrence Sher, revealed to Slash Film that when he climbed in the refrigerator, we had no idea he was going to do that. It's unclear whether Arthur was simply trying to shut himself off from the world by climbing into the chili container, or actually trying to kill himself. Perhaps this could even just be a fantasy of his as he struggles to sleep. Whatever the reason behind the inspired decision, this was yet another stellar moment in Phoenix's completely captivating performance throughout Joker, and he fully deserved his Best Actor Academy Award. Number 3, The Great Gatsby, the hidden message on Gatsby's gates. Though some would happily admit that Baz Luhrmann's adaptation of The Great Gatsby was a bit of a letdown when it finally landed on our screens, there's no denying the Best Costume and Production Design winner still possesses its fair share of splendid details which are easily missed if you're not looking for them. For example, Jay Gatsby and Daisy Buchanan stare at each other for exactly 30 seconds at one point in the flick, which is exactly how F. Scott Fitzgerald described the moment in the 1926 book. As he wrote, for half a minute there wasn't a sound. Yet there's an even finer detail on the gates of Gatsby's spectacular mansion, which even the most eagle-eyed viewers probably didn't notice. The phrase ad finem fidelis is shown underneath the lion and unicorn, which is Latin for faithful to the end. This is likely a nod to Gatsby's loyalty to Daisy and also his unshakable belief in hope. Number 2, Skyfall, Daniel Craig's CGI hands. By all accounts, Daniel Craig and director Sam Mendes weren't having the best of times when making Skyfall. Both of the gents were seriously feeling the pressure of making this huge Bond sequel, so Craig would often go on little shopping trips on his day off to alleviate the stress. On one of these relaxing days out, the blonde Bond found a wonderful pair of leather gloves that he thought would work perfectly for the character in an upcoming scene. Mendes apparently wasn't too bothered and allowed the star to wear his new purchase in the scene. However, once they shot the film's casino sequence and took the footage to the editing room, it quickly became clear that they'd made a huge mistake. Bond's gun was designed so only he could fire it, thanks to its fingerprint scanning technology. Yet he was obviously wearing leather gloves throughout the action, meaning his weapon likely wouldn't be able to recognize his hands. Due to it costing millions to reshoot the scene in the eventual Best Original Song and Sound Editing winner, the producers instead decided that Craig's hands would have to be digitally painted on in the scene. And this is why 007's mitts look oddly podgy at this point in the movie. How silly, eh? Number 1, Interstellar, some frames of the black hole took 100 hours to render. As we've previously mentioned in this list, Christopher Nolan is a huge fan of making sure his pictures are as insanely detailed as possible. So when he was tasked with bringing a black hole to life in sci-fi drama Interstellar, the iconic director knew he had to go to new extremes in order to realistically do so. To create this supermassive black hole, Nolan consulted with Kip Thorne, a legendary astrophysicist, who worked with VFX supervisor Paul Franklin to produce equations which would then be given to the film's engineers. Brand new CGI rendering software was then written using this to create an extremely accurate simulation of what a black hole would more than likely actually look like. When all was said and done, some frames took up to 100 hours to render, and the move ended up possessing nearly 800 terabytes of data. This highlights exactly how incredibly detailed the effects team were when it came to crafting this awe-inspiring black hole and other moments in the movie. Interstellar went on to win the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects because of course it did, and the film was widely praised for its depiction of an incredibly accurate black hole. And that is our list. Know of any other brilliant hidden details in Oscar-winning movies? Well, let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you like this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com. Cheers for watching this video today, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Bye bye!